They're coming in. Yeah, I'm gonna read your evaluations and be like, oh, drop.
What's gonna happen afterwards?
Good evaluation means good quiz results.
I'm gonna change.
Good evaluation means good quiz report.
Marie told me that she had a teacher that changed dramatically after.
Seriously, he was so
evaluation.
sweet before that thing. And
I won't do that.
That is like, he wanted to kill all of us.
Okay, so we're going to start out today by practicing what we learned last week. I'm sorry, on last Monday. And then we're going to learn something new, okay? Another way to break up sentences. And you guys have a reading assignment over the weekend that I'm going to give you and go over with you in class, hopefully if we have time, and a journal exercise that involves writing. So we're going to start putting what we're learning to practice, okay? We're going to start learning stuff that's actually going to connect to how we're writing. So somebody tell me what this means. Raise your hand, please. What do we call those?
Acronym.
That's an acronym, that's right. Laura, can you do it? Can you tell me all of them? Don't look at your notes. Come on, you're killing me here.
Okay, let me try.
Okay, you ready?
For,
We got for, and, nor, but,
for,
okay,
yes,
yes,
and the last one is so.
perfect, nicely done. And what is the official title? That's good, that was good. Give a round of applause. Nice job, Laura. Everybody needs a round of applause. Elvis, what do we call these?
Coordinating conjunction.
Nicely done, sir. You already have these in your notes, but just a refresher. Maria.
No.
Yes, Maria. What has to be, what's the proper punctuation for a coordinating conjunction? What is the proper punctuation? Say that 5 times fast.
Comma.
Thank you. It is a comma. And where does that comma go? Before or after?
Before.
Good. Thank you, Beatrice. Before the conjunction. Okay, let me ask you another question then, since Beatrice answered that one for me. Maria, can you tell us, what should I ask you?
Wait, let me read my notes first.
Nope. How about we'll skip to someone else? Ginger.
No.
On both sides of the coordinating conjunction, we have 2 things. They are something that we learned about at the very beginning of class, and they have to both be there on both sides of this conjunction. What have to both be there? Do you remember? We talked.
Verb.
Yes, that's part of this thing, whatever it is, this grouping, if you will, of words. What do we call that? Very easy answer. We're going to write a bunch of these in our homework assignment. We're going to write them. What are we going to write? You just did a bunch of them.
Yeah.
You wrote what?
Fragment sentences?
Not fragment sentences. Nobody wants.
Sentences. I got everything mixed up.
That's okay, Ginger. A fragment can't be a sentence. That's not going to work. Okay. A sentence fragment is something else. Okay. All right. So we said that there has to be an SVO on both sides.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I mean. They're sentences.
Independent clauses.
There we go. These are called independent clauses. Just a little refresher.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. Our coordinating conjunctions, the words that we use as coordinating conjunctions, are they only ever used as coordinating conjunctions? Or are they used as in other situations sometimes?
Yes, they're used in other situations.
They are. Okay. Give me an example, Ginger. Uh-oh. Somebody tell me when I use the word and.
To connect the word.
Yes,
What?
you're connecting a word. Okay,
It's-
hold on. Think about your answer. It's not just to connect a word. It's to tell us what? And. The word and.
To add.
Additional information.
To add.
Addition?
In addition, that's the meaning. But remember, when we have a group of words, we use the word and to sometimes connect those, right?
Yes.
For instance, her hair smelled like seaweed,
And.
Comma and.
perfume,
And perfume.
and mold.
Nice.
And that is why we don't date any longer. It's just a joke. I'm joking. And means in addition, right? Okay, there are other meanings. What does the word nor mean? Somebody who is here, please, Sebastian, what does nor mean? Not or what?
Either.
Huh? Either or neither? Okay, there we go. Not or either. What about but? Somebody help me out with but. Go ahead, Amanda.
In contrast.
In contrast. What about for? Huh?
Or
What is it? Because? What about or? Somebody help me out with or.
Choice.
A choice or what?
Choice.
Decision.
What about yet? Brian?
Contrast.
Brian.
Yeah, well, I didn't write these down yet.
Sorry.
It's in contrast to or to change.
What about so? Last one.
as a result.
As a result. Okay, that's what these meanings are. Now remember, every word, even the smallest word, has a meaning. So, let's see if you can put that meaning to use. On one side of this paper, you will see grammar review number 1. This is a very simple exercise. All you have to do is put the right word in the blank. Right word in the blank, okay? That's all you got to do. Right word in the blank. Right word in the blank. A little quick review. Right word in the blank. Right word in the blank. All good now, David? Yeah. Mike, we set that up? I know you want that. Okay, right word in the blank. So, number 1, grammar review. Read the following sentences for meaning, then punctuate them correctly and fill in the coordinating conjunction that best expresses the relationship between the two complete thoughts. And, but, yet, for, nor, or, so. Every year, thousands of people travel to Nevada's blistering Black Rock Desert. Something's missing. And then they want to participate in an amazing ritual. You will not get full credit on this assignment if you don't put the proper punctuation in place. So make sure you use punctuation if it's needed, okay? Move forward with that exercise now. I'll leave these on the board to help you out. finish earlier than other people, you can start writing the little bit of notes that I put up on the board about our new grammar, our new little piece of information here.
Do the back page too? Or just the front?
Just the front page, please. Just, well, we haven't done the back page yet. We have not done subordinating conjunctions just yet. Okay? When you finish, start taking the notes that are listed above. Okay? Right here, subordinating conjunctions. Work on that a little bit. And when everybody's done, who's still working on the assignment? The one, the grammar, the one that we just did? Okay, good. Take your time. Is there anyone still working on the assignment? Raise your hand. Okay, take a minute or so more. It's fine. All right, everybody stop doing the notes for a minute. They'll still be up there in just a little while. We have plenty of time. And let's review whether or not we have successfully answered our questions. All right?
Can you use kind of the same meaning in a few of them?
Some of them might be the same, yeah, and there are words that have similar meanings, but sometimes it's better to use one word as opposed to another. So let's try to figure out the best word to make this work, all right? So here's our sentences. Every year, thousands of people travel into Nevada's blistering Black Rock Desert. They want to participate in an amazing ritual. Do I have two SVOs? Do I have two SVOs? Two simple sentences. Do I have two subject, verb, objects? Is it yes or no?
Yes.
Do I? Yes? Okay, I do, yes. The first one is that thousands of people travel, and then where they travel, right? That's my SVO. The second one is that they want to participate. That's the verb and the subject, right? They want to do something. So, if I look at my words, I have a couple of options. Who wants to take a guess at this? Maria, go ahead.
I put and.
Let's look at it. And. Every year, thousands of people travel into Nevada's blistering Black Rock Desert, and they want to participate in an amazing ritual. Okay?
Because just because a thousand people goes doesn't mean that everybody wants to do it. I feel that.
Okay, now is there, so that's definitely a possibility. And would be correct. Am I missing something? A comma, right? So where's that go?
Desert.
Jeez, my hand looks scary. I look like a giant when I put my hand up there. Nobody likes that. There's my and, correct? Comma, and. Now, is there another word that would work?
Yes,
Ginger?
because.
Which would mean the word that we're looking for is not because, we're looking for the word what?
I put and, but because could be it too, couldn't it?
Right? But
Because
are
we want to
we looking for,
participate in-
Ginger, are we looking for a coordinating conjunction?
Yes.
So which word is because?
Because is for.
Good. So is for a possibility, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes. It still needs a
For.
comma though, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. I said it backwards.
That's okay.
You know what I meant.
I did, but we gotta make sure we're clear.
I know, for because it's the same.
There we go. So those are our options. How about number two? Laura, would you like to try number two for us, please? Please read the sentence and tell us what's missing.
Sure. They build and live in an experimental community called Black Rock City, and they tear it down just 1 week later.
And will work, and usually works. There might be a better choice though.
How about but?
Yeah.
But?
Okay?
Not yet.
Yeah.
So which one do we want? Both?
I would say yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that both will work, but I would say that yet might be the most correct. So they build and live in an experimental community called Black Rock City, comma, yet they tear it down just 1 week later.
But was so bad if it was like, they tear.
Teared is not a correct tense. We gotta stick with the correct tense. You're close, but tear is the past tense. So if we add an ed to that word, that's one of those verbs, Mark, that changes instead of just adding the ed. You know how some verbs you just add ed for past tense? Like the original verbs?
There was some words sound more clearer when you use a certain word on this.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And I think yet could work and but might work as well. So we'll stick to either of those options. Number three, who'd like to take a chance on number three for us, please? Go ahead, Sandra. Thank you.
I was just curious before, for number two, I had a question. Could you put yet, comma?
We always put the comma before the coordinating conjunction because here's why. Let me show you. So if you look at number two, notice where the first SVO ends. Where's our sentence end? They build and live in an experimental community called Black Rock City. Period. That ends it. That ends our idea. So our comma is a pause. It is a stopping point, much like a period would be. But then we're adding something on there, a whole other thought. So that other thought has the comma to separate that thought from what came before it. Because a comma is a pause.
Okay, got it.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Sandra, would you do number 3 for us?
Yeah, sure. The event is called Burning Man Festival. I think 4. On the final day, an 80-foot tall wooden figure of a man is set ablaze.
Nice. Very well done. I think that 4 is a good answer. Don't forget to add that comma, though. Don't forget that comma.
Okay.
Anybody get something different for that one?
I did.
Yes, I put.
Go ahead, what'd you say?
I put yet, but I know it was wrong.
I'll put in.
I put in.
And will work as well.
Oh.
I put so.
So did
Ah.
Yeah, so. I put
So, on the final day.
So let me ask you a question. Then when we're looking at meaning, do we call it the Burning Man Festival because something's set on fire, a man set on fire? Or do we set the guy on fire because it's the Burning Man Festival?
Yeah.
By reversing the sentences, we change the meaning.
Yeah.
So look at this. Look at this, for example. Each year, I'm sorry, the event is called the Burning Man Festival as a result of the 80-foot tall wooden figure of a man being set ablaze. Did that work?
No.
No. They didn't call it that because they do that. It's the opposite, right? It's almost like they're not setting it ablaze because they call it the Burning Man Festival.
But it keeps saying as a result on the final day, which is this on the sentence. The event is called the Burning Man Festival as a result on the final day. Like what he did on the final day, the result of that festival, part of the festival, no? That's the reason why we choose 4 too.
Yet on the final.
Because I'm thinking.
Oh, you know, I'm
like-
trying to, maybe you're teaching me something. I'm thinking about this for a minute. Give me a second here. So the event is called the Burning Man Festival. As a result, on the final day,
An 80-foot tall wooden figure of a man is set ablaze. It's like something,
the
because it
event
was
is
like
called
this.
it as a result of. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is this. Was the wooden figure of a man set ablaze before they named it the Burning Man Festival? That's the question. Or did they name it the Burning Man Festival and then decide to set this thing ablaze? You follow what I'm
They
saying?
name it and then they decide
Yeah.
to do it
So
the
if
final
they,
day.
okay, so if they named it first,
No?
and then so won't work.
So,
But if they set it ablaze and then they named it, then so will work. So I'm gonna say so.
okay,
I'm gonna
okay, I
say, see where the difference in the meaning
Yeah,
is?
yeah, yeah, I
So
see it.
four is probably your best option.
4.
I would take so. I think that would still make sense
Not
because
in.
we don't have the context. And is fine. And is one of those words that usually works in most situations. We're just trying to find the most correct word, okay? The best word.
4 will be best.
So,
Yeah,
4.
but so would work, I think.
Put yet.
And.
So it's not.
Okay, and moving on to number 4. Each year there is a theme. Past themes have included time, fertility, outer space, and belief. Elvis, what'd you put there?
I put comma and,
Comma and works. Is there anything else?
and that's it.
I think that's the only one really right there.
Four.
No. It's not gonna be in contrast.
In between.
Because it says each year is a theme, but yet in the past years they've been these things. So that doesn't work. You can't really say one thing contrasts the other. This is an and statement. Okay? Jennifer, why don't you take number 5?
I think so.
Let's read the whole thing.
Everyone is encouraged to contribute on something related to the theme, so participants experience that hard work, costumes, foods, and other gifts from the heart.
I think that that's a perfect answer. So is fine.
And too.
Did you just write and on every line?
No,
Okay, I'm just checking.
but it could go in.
You could, I mean, you could.
No, it did go.
All right,
But what was correct, so?
so.
So.
What about?
If I put
what
in,
about
we
four?
we still get points.
Everyone is, en-
I put but again, but it.
everyone is encouraged to contribute something related to the theme.
But,
Because participants experience artwork.
Or participants experience, yeah, I don't think that word is probably the best
That's
choice.
why
so,
I don't think that they experience something, I don't know that they experience something from the heart because they're encouraged. I just, they don't.
No, no, I'm just thinking, why are they encouraged? Because.
Let's stick with so.
Say what's up?
but,
Okay.
no.
How about number 6? Who'd like, Brian, since you're an avid
Oh,
participant today, help me out here.
you got me on the one that I had trouble with. People
Uh-oh.
pay to get into the festival, blank, they then enter a volunteer and gift. I put or, but I know it's wrong.
They then enter a volunteer.
They then just doesn't sound right.
And they then, no, and,
So use
They
and.
then.
and. I use a lot of and buts.
He's tricking us now.
So, hold on, shh. Listen to the meaning of the words, okay?
So
That's
is
what
it
you
so?
have to figure out what the meaning of the words are. If it says, people pay, but then they enter this gift economy or this volunteer economy, what does that mean? That means that they pay in
So-
contrast to
And.
everything being free or barter system, right? Or trade system. So those are two different ideas, right? Paying for something and then getting something because you're trading. Trading and paying, money versus like work, right? So what's the word?
And.
No.
And,
But
But,
in this case,
but,
they're opposite ideas.
But.
So it's in
But.
contrast. So it's
Okay.
but or yet.
Or, yeah.
comma, but.
Yep.
Okay. Just to make sure. Not and they then entered. I had and they then entered. Okay.
Okay, number 7.
I'll do it,
You go for it, man.
because I don't have and.
Right.
Commercial vendors are not allowed, nor can they participate, sell anything using money.
Nicely done.
yeah.
Well done, man. Nice job. Nor.
Nor.
Nor can.
Nor can they.
Nor can they.
Charles, why don't you take number 8? I saw your hand on the last one.
People focus instead on giving something to the group, but the festival encourages radical self-expression.
Yep.
That's fine. You could use and in that one, Amanda.
I'll put what?
One
But.
yet, what?
Yet would work.
How about four?
Well, see, here's that problem again, Brian. Here's where we have two contrasting ideas. We got one thing focusing on the group, and the other thing focusing on what? The
Self-expression.
individual, right? So those two things are separate, aren't they? They're contrasting, yeah.
Contrast.
Okay.
Oh, that one I gotta work.
All right. Number 9, Michael. Good morning.
Hey.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
All right.
The event began in 1986 as a small gathering of friends on the San Francisco beach, but today it has grown to include over 30,000 participants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Nicely done. But or yet, Johnny?
For number 8, you said but was like the only possible answer.
Yet would work, and would work.
How about 4?
4 would not work. Because they're two separate ideas. That's what I was just saying to Brian.
Yeah.
4 means
Either or.
because, right? Think about it, Johnny. I mean, people focus on a group because they're encouraged to be individuals. That doesn't make sense. You see how that works? See those two meanings? It says the focus is on the group, but the festival encourages self-expression, which means individual expression. Group and individuals are two different things, aren't they? They're the opposites, John?
Yeah, I see them as 2 different ideas, but I,
So one can't because one doesn't happen because of the other. Do you follow?
Alright.
So
Well, I
nine,
want that to be clear so that, you know, it's a good choice when we write.
Yeah.
Is there a way I can explain that differently that might make a little more sense? What's the question?
I understand the gist of what you're saying. It's just a sentence itself it's not very clear to me, I guess, you know, as clear as like I'd like it to be, so.
Okay.
But I understand what you're saying though.
Number 10. Ginger, you rock it
Okay.
out. Go for
I was
it.
going to.
All
They
right.
might make the trip looking for a week-long party, comma, so they might be seeking a more satisfying way of life. Or and.
I think there's a better option. Ginger.
Better?
No.
Or.
Or. There we go. There it is.
So.
Yes.
So I can't
Or.
use so.
Why would we say or?
So they
You're making a
might
choice.
They're making a choice between the two options.
be,
You
or,
need to come in?
all right, you're right, yeah, it sounds better.
This yours?
So they might,
There you go, sir.
Did
Welcome.
we say 4?
Or.
or, I put.
Think about it.
I
You guys, you guys, this lesson is
Yeah,
really about reading your sentences for meaning.
yeah,
What are you trying to say? So look at this sentence.
or they might.
They might be looking for a party, or they might be looking for a more satisfying way of life.
Yes, you're
Is a
right.
party a more, maybe a party is a more satisfying way of life.
Might
Called
be.
Woodstock.
For me,
Now, you guys, do you guys know what Burning Man is? Have you ever seen these things about Burning Man? Yeah.
No.
Kind of makes you nervous. If you haven't, look it up. I'm not going to show you the pictures online. It's crazy. I've never done it.
because we have other things to do.
Hippies.
See, we'll give you more reviews.
All right. Okay, so keep this because look on the back. No, on Monday we're going to work on this. Maybe. We'll see. You have other homework. So hang on to that. Don't lose it.
Other homework.
What? Other homework? You haven't had homework in a while. You'll be all right. Okay? Here we go. New information. We're going to power through it today. Okay? We have the coordinating conjunction. It joins two complete dots. Can I say the following things? Here, let me show you. What do I want to do? I'm going to use my angry color. Example. Somebody tell me, is that a sentence?
No.
No, it is not.
It's incomplete.
Oh, because.
Brian, would someone walk up to the person on the street
Hello,
and say,
because.
no, and just say this, because he's tired.
No,
That'd be kind of awkward, wouldn't it?
there's no subject.
I might. Because he's tired. Somebody's sitting down out of breath because he's tired. Why not?
Ginger,
I know.
Ginger, as I left the room. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense, does it?
As you left the room,
See, she's making fun out of it.
I can make a sentence out of that. And I'd say,
Michael, if you know Spanish, then what? Right? That's the problem with these statements, isn't it? We're missing the then what. What? What about it? Who cares? I don't know. I need something. There has to be an SVO in this. Well, look, if I get rid of this word, do I have a sentence?
Now you do,
Now I
I
do.
left the room.
because I thought the ESI
Right.
part.
Right.
You
Yeah.
knew Spanish.
So, as soon as I add those words, I have to have something else, don't I? As soon as I add these words, oh, what are those words?
Subordinate.
Subordinate conjunctions. As soon as I add those words, I have to have something else. Now does it make sense? Because he is tired, he went to bed. How about I left the room? What about as I left the room?
I turned the lights off.
Okay, I was going to say the book fell. That's kind of a random statement. I like that. Turn the lights off. If you know Spanish,
Go to Mexico.
how about that? If you know Spanish, you will have fun on your trip. Now it makes sense, right?
Not a.
Look at my rules. Words, pay attention to this, and then you're going to write the notes down in a second, okay? I want you to pay attention so you understand it before you just write them down, all right? Words used to join choppy sentences to make a paragraph more interesting and smoother to read. That's the main reason why we pick these words. Okay? It's not so we make big, long, huge sentences, because you guys don't want to write run-ons. We don't like run-ons, okay? And we don't like really short, choppy ones that don't make sense, like because he is tired. That's a fragment, right? So we're going to try to write solid sentences that are interesting, but actually connect ideas. They join the ideas together, these subordinating conjunctions, and I'm going to give you some examples of those. The difference is that once you add one of these words, like I just showed you, once you add one of these words, okay, the idea can no longer stand on its own. You follow? As a complete and independent sentence. No longer. Okay, once you add that word, forget it. You can't add. You can use it has something different. Okay? Now, this is when it becomes a dependent idea that relies on the other idea to complete its meaning. You got to have one to have the other once the word's added. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah? We're going to practice this a lot. Now, hang on. I want to show you how to punctuate these because this is important. If I have an idea, if you know Spanish, there's a hesitation at the end, isn't there? There's a pause when I say that. If you know Spanish, you're not going to say, if you know Spanish, you'll have fun on your trip. It doesn't make sense. You need to say, if you know Spanish, you will have fun on your trip. Right? There's a pause there. It makes the sentence clearer to the person listening, doesn't it? As I left the room, the book fell. As I left the room, the book fell. See the difference in the way that it's pronounced? Just the slowing down of the language when you're speaking it will assist you in seeing where pauses should be. If I write, because he is tired, he went to bed. It sounds like one big long thought, doesn't it? But if I said, because he is tired, he went to bed. That pause makes a difference in clarity, right? Now, think about what that pause is. A punctuation, a piece of punctuation is either a stopping point or a pause. It's a breath, literally. A comma is a breath. So, we use a comma when the dependent idea comes before the independent idea. Say what? Come back. Because he is tired, he went to bed. Now, think about it. If I wrote this, do I need a comma?
No.
No. Think about how that sounds. He went to bed because he's tired. There's no need for a pause, right? Because he's tired, he went to bed. There's a pause. He went to bed because he's tired. That comes across, if you think about it, if you hear it, if you write it down that way, does not need a comma. So, I'm going to ask you guys just a quick test. Okay, you ready? Charles?
Yes.
Which phrase is dependent in this person? Dependent. Dependent. Cannot stand on its own. Read the sentence. Because he's tired, he went to bed. Which one can you tell someone just on the street corner? Without it sounding awkward. Charles?
He went to bed.
There you go. So if it doesn't sound awkward, then that means it's an independent clause, right? It's independent. So which one's dependent, Charles?
He is tired.
No. Which one's dependent? Which clause needs the other one in order to make sense? You were close, but you missed a word. It's not just he is tired, it's the word before it too. What's that word? There you go. This is our dependent clause, Charles. So Charles, let's do the next one so that you can get this, okay? Tell me, which one's dependent? Dependent. Requires the other sentence part.
I left the room.
Good. What's the word you're missing?
As
I left the room. There we go. There's my dependent clause. What about this one? Sebastian? If you know Spanish. There's my dependent clause. Okay, now what about this one? He went to bed because he is tired. Dependent clause. You're not going to say because he is tired.
No, he went to bed.
Right, so which one is dependent?
He went to bed.
No.
Because,
Dependent.
because he's tired.
There you go. Doesn't change, just change locations of the sentence. Okay, now. Do not use a comma. Do not use a comma when the dependent idea comes after the independent idea. Okay. I want you to write those down. Make sure you have these notes. Okay, write them down. I'm going to write a list of our subordinating conjunctions while you write down the notes. Okay, I want you guys to write this list down in the notes on the board. Okay?